Welcome to Calculated Nonsense. This is our first episode. Thank you for joining us. Whether you're watching on video or listening on through your favorite podcast app, thanks for listening. Thanks for joining us. Be sure, whatever platform you're using, like us, follow us, subscribe to us, whatever options available. So, Paul, what you want to kind of give a rundown of what Calculated Nonsense is?
So, it's based off of how we first met and what stuff that we find interesting and what we find to talk about. So basically, pop culture. Sure. A lot of pop culture, a lot of movies, a lot of TV shows, hot takes on current issues, a little bit of tomfoolery as well.
Sure.
And two self-proclaimed geniuses that are sitting at this table right now.
No doubt.
Maybe Midwestern geniuses.
Midwestern geniuses. Sure. It gives you an idea where we're at. We are in the Midwest, Indiana to be exact, but that's not necessarily super important in regards to what we want to do episode to episode, but maybe it will be.
Well, things like I saw today, you're wearing your Marvel Comics shirt and DC Universe.
Yeah, I'm a big comic nerd, big movie buff. Love movies, TV, stuff like that. As is Paul.
And we have similar interest in movies as well.
Absolutely.
And we tend to catch the similar things and deeper meanings and.
That's because of our superior intelligence.
Midwestern geniuses.
That's right. That's Calculated Nonsense in a nutshell. We just felt that we wanted to kind of let other people who may, because what our interests are niche. Almost said niche.
Yeah.
That's not the way you say it.
That's fine.
Niche. And we think that there's probably some other people out there who have similar interests, and we just want to share our opinions with you and
our thoughts.
Our thoughts, yeah. Not that you necessarily care, but we don't care if you care.
No, mostly kind of like a reference for us at first, I think.
Yeah,
just to go back and look at what we said and thought, oh yeah, I remember I said that kind of thing.
For sure.
Yeah. But I was thinking also some current events, local things, conventions that are going on, anything math or science related because of our background in both those fields. Basically, it's calculated, analytical nonsense.
Yep, very much. Now that we kind of got that out of the way, just so you're aware, I'm Kyle.
And I'm Paul.
That's Paul. Paul, why don't you share a little bit about maybe how we met, and then we can kind of give everybody an idea of our backgrounds. Yeah.
Well, we met at Scheller's Fitness and Cycling.
Yep, that's where I used to work. Yeah.
Yeah, where I used to work. Sarah, my wife, and I bought 2 bikes from you. My bike was first, and then I loved it so much, and my wife loved it so much that she's like, I need a new bike now as well. So she got a second bike. And then our friendship kind of started and developed because of the maintenance I needed done on my bike. I am a pretty hefty individual, and flat tires were regular. Derailleur hangers popped off pretty regularly too. I think I went through 2 of them in 2 months or something like that. Yeah. So I'd bring it in and we'd talk and we'd do things like this and we'd have conversations like this and
come in for a 5-minute tire change. And, it would turn into an hour and a half long conversation about what we've been watching or what we know is coming soon or
Like, have you seen this yet?
Yeah.
Oh,
exactly.
I saw this and I think this.
Yeah, exactly. And just like any conversation, I think we'd go, like you said earlier, pop culture. I'm sure politics. I'm sure religion was all brought
Oh,
into
yeah.
it. All very interesting topics that
Are in
we
no
had
way
very-
divisive
very-
at all.
Very interesting takes on. But yeah, it was. That's
Yeah, and then we had Taco Tuesdays that
Yep.
we do rides on.
yeah. We'd go on our really short,
Really
like
short.
3 mile. Well, 1.5 miles there, 1.5 miles back.
Yeah.
Ride to get some tacos, and then we would end up on the tiny little TV that we had inside the bike shop. We'd end up coming back, drinking some beers, and then like watching a show.
Yep.
Like, hey, we should watch this episode, just like we did
Yeah.
yesterday. It was like,
Harley
you should
Quinn.
check out this Harley Quinn cartoon. Let me show you the first scene. 15 minutes later, it's
15
like,
minutes
this
later.
is really more than I intended. But that's kind of how it went.
Yeah.
We lose track very easily. We digress very
Yes.
easily.
Yes, we do. It's awesome.
Uh,
And it's enjoyable. Like,
Absolutely.
even when we're off topic, it's enjoyable and fun.
Absolutely.
So I feel like
Conversations will tend to digress, but then something will end up happening which will kind of like bring us full circle back to
That's
to
true.
where we want to go.
it's very true.
So maybe give the viewers kind
A little bit of a history.
of yourself.
Okay. Grew up in Indiana, rural part of Indiana, private school. Led a very kind of sheltered life as I was growing up. I grew up kind of wanting to be, at first I wanted to be a doctor, then I wanted to be an architect, and then I wanted to be an engineer. Like all young kids do.
Change your mind on a daily basis.
Thousands of times. But I was never like I never wanted to be a firefighter or a police officer. I didn't want to do that. Like, I wanted to be like the doctor, like in charge of saving lives. And like, this MASH was like one of my favorite TV shows of all times. Still is. I went to Murray State University, got my degree, and I still wasn't entirely sure what I was going to do. I was still interested in engineering quite a bit, and I got told by my physics professor that I should do this internship thing at NASA, and he made me apply.
NASA.
He made me apply, and I applied, and I got in. So I did an internship at NASA for about 3 months.
That's spaceships. NASA.
Literal rocket science.
Literal rocket science.
They do so much more than rocket science, so it's insane. One of the most underfunded things in the entire. I'm talking about.
We
Anyway.
have a Space Force now.
Oh. Yeah, it's all better. You're right. Fixed.
We'll put missiles on the space.
Oh my god! Please no. They so worked at NASA for a while. I didn't want to be in a cubicle and in boardroom meetings arguing about 8 hours a day about whether or not the size of the wheels on the rover should be, this big or this big. I don't know that.
And there was a micro change.
Yes.
For what he just did there.
Yes, very different, big difference to them, but to me it was, oh my gosh, just pick one. And they don't really do that at NASA. They research everything instead of just picking one or testing one.
You should see their romantic lives.
Sheldon from The Big Bang Theory exists, and he lives at Houston, in Houston, Texas.
But he's probably not as comedic.
No,
as
it
Sheldon.
is
It's
not.
Probably twice as dry as the Sheldon people see on TV.
It's very dry. It's very dry human interaction down there. And so after reflection, coming back, I worked at a summer camp called Camp Carson, which is pretty local. And I felt that how could I help best affect the world? And that was through teaching. So taking what I know and using what I have in order to share it with the younger generation. So I became a teacher. After becoming a teacher, I've been teaching now for 7.5 years, maybe 8 years. Got my master's degree. Still trying to make those changes happen and I just got my master's in administration, moving up in administration to try to affect more change for the good in our school and our kids today. That's my
Cool.
history and background. And
Cool. Well, I'll go into some of mine too.
yeah, I was gonna say you're next.
So, where Paul went to private school, I went to public school.
We're the same age too.
Yeah, same age.
Same
yeah,
age.
We're both 30.
Yep.
Yeah. Going on 31.
Yep.
When's your birthday?
April.
You just had it? Or you just turned 30?
I just turned 30.
Oh, I turned 31 in August. I'm older.
Oh, I'll let you have that.
Shoot. Yeah, so I went to public school just north of here. So we're in Evansville, Indiana right now. I'm from Jasper. You're from Evansville. Though,
Yep,
right?
from
So fairly well-off community that I'm from, and in comparison to a lot of other communities out there. We had nice schools and great athletics programs and stuff like that. But I kind of always, I think when I was younger, I probably leaned more towards being an architect, but somewhere in that architect engineer range is kind of what I wanted to do. Paul didn't mention this in his, but I know he was a part of this too. In high school, we were both a part of a super mileage team, where we actually competed against each other, but we didn't know each other.
Yeah, that.
His school murdered us. The school he went to was nationally recognized.
Yeah.
Maybe internationally.
Internationally.
Internationally recognized. They were great. They also had a lot more money
Yeah.
than we had.
Yeah, we did.
But you put a lot of work in to get that.
A lot of work into it as well.
But our foray into the super mileage didn't come until my
Was it junior year?
no, actually we did do it my sophomore year. We started my sophomore year.
Oh,
Yeah, I thought it was junior year.
yeah.
But I just had kind of a flash in my head. It was actually my sophomore year.
It's
So
just-
we didn't do as good our sophomore year as we did junior and senior.
Oh, I gotcha.
Uh,
I was gonna say because we were.
junior and senior was where we did.
We definitely competed against each other.
Oh,
For sure.
For sure. But my freshman year, I'll take one more step back. In middle school, that's kind of where I think I really targeted what I wanted to do from an engineering perspective. I wanted to be involved with computers and tech. A buddy of mine, in our 8th grade year, we had a vocational guy come in and talk to us about vocational programs that you could enter into in high school. And one of those was like an IT-based vocational program. I thought, oh, that's great. Then when I got to my freshman year and I got to like that point where it's, hey, we're kind of selecting, because you can select
Classes.
electives and stuff. There was this class. It was like Intro to Engineering Design. And I thought, boom, no question. No vocational, don't need this. And there's a part of this program called Project Lead the Way, which is a really great program. It was kind of in its infancy still when it started my freshman year as a whole program nationally. There was just like, I think when it started my freshman year, there was only like 3 classes available. It was intro, principles, and like digital electronics. And then like my sophomore year is when it kind of went like, boom, here's all these other 7 classes.
Stuff.
And so, but yeah, I was one of like five people in our high school who got to go through the entire program from the time we were freshmen until we graduated. I'm one of, I think, 2 of us that took all of them. This was like Intro to Engineering, Principles of Engineering, Digital Electronics, Computer Integrated Manufacturing, Civil Engineering, Aerospace, and then our capstone, which was Engineering Design and Development, which was kind of a self-taught, self-governed class where you selected your project and you kind of worked the whole year. so yeah, really cool. Not a lot of schools had this. I think a lot more have it now, or at least have some type of STEM based.
A lot of public schools have exactly PLTW.
Yeah, yeah.
Because of how phenomenal it is to students that have had it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, from the time I hit digital electronics on, which would be 4 or 5 classes, allowed me to test out of a lot of stuff going into college, which was great. But from high school, I went to the University of Southern Indiana. I majored in computer science, minored in computer information systems. Did a lot of IT stuff with the information systems, and then a lot of programming, a lot of coding, a lot of software design type stuff with computer science. So, in a sense, computer science is kind of a lot of software engineering, a lot of theory in terms of like computational design. Computational design. Not a phrase that I've used.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
And then like a little bit of hardware stuff. Anymore, we don't have to worry about hardware stuff because not a lot of people make their own hardware. A lot of people will build their own computers and stuff.
Yes.
That's pluggable right now. That's easy. But so after college, so while I was in college, my senior year, I was a part of this group that got to compete against all of the great schools, Harvard, Yale, MIT, Stanford, all the schools that like, the people that work at NASA or like Sheldon go there. So
Yes.
so very highly and for some reason, one of our faculty advisors thought we should join this as University of Southern Indiana, and we're going to do great. Now we did not get last place, got third to last place.
Yep. DBFL.
Yep. But we worked with Deaconess Hospital and with their chief information officer, and after that I did get a job offer to go right into doing stuff in my field. However, pay was horrible. I mean, really not great. And I probably could have negotiated harder, but I mean, it was like, so I was at the time working as an assistant manager, co-manager of a bike shop here in town, and my pay there was higher than what it was going to be programming, which was like, it was kind of laughable.
Yeah.
Kind of laughable.
Bike.
So I thought, hey, if I can make more money, not in a cubicle, I'm going to do that as long as I can because it's fun. I enjoy interacting with people in that element. In the bike shop world, selling bikes and fitness equipment. Getting people to a point where they're making themselves better. I enjoyed that. Probably what I enjoyed most though was just the business aspect of it. Growing a business, and so from there. My wife had another year of school, so I thought I'm going to stay doing this for a little while, and then shortly thereafter, I had the opportunity to open a new store here in town, and I kind of saw that from the ground up. So from the purchase of the property we had, day-to-day building, I was like the pseudo construction manager because like I'd get a phone call from the guys who own the business in Louisville, and they'd say, hey, we need you to meet with these construction people today, or go over and inspect what they did today. Make sure they stapled the insulation incorrectly because they didn't do that right the first time. But they fixed it. But so I got to do all that, and then of course got to run and build this community in this store, and we took it from a temporary location where we were like maybe $200,000 a year to almost like 1.7, almost $2 million a year.
Heck yes.
By the time I
So
moved on,
would you say you're a small business startup master? Like ninja?
You know, in my head, yeah, absolutely. In my head, absolutely. But I think that like when you say like you're a master, and you know when you're no longer the grasshopper, you've kind of reached that level where you can't grow anymore, and
We can always have room for growth.
always have room. Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. So I was doing that for the past 7 years, 8 years, and then last year I kind of got the itch to bring something to Evansville that Evansville didn't have, and that was an axe throwing venue. So myself, along with another business partner, we opened Applied Timber Axe Throwing Company, and so now I'm a professional axe thrower.
It's quite a nice balance, actually.
Yeah.
Computer scientist to
Yeah,
axe throwing professional.
yeah. Just felt like I wanted to like follow the path of like a John Wick or something like that. And,
Is that who you see yourself as? John Wick?
nah, not really. I look better. No, I'm just kidding. That guy doesn't age.
Keanu Reeves?
Doesn't
He
age.
does not.
No.
He looks the exact same as he does in The Matrix as he does in John Wick 3.
Yeah.
Like, exactly the same.
Matrix. Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Oh, okay, even further.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. If you throw the beard on him and Bill and Ted, it's the same.
it's John
Doesn't
Wick.
age. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Must have sold his soul to the devil or something like that. Yeah. But yeah, so now I teach people how to throw axes. I compete in axe
Yeah,
throwing
you're
competitions.
like international ones now, right?
Yeah, we're in the so during the whole quarantine or shutdown, we've been competing virtually. And I've been competing as an individual, and then we've got a team that we've got that's a part of. It was originally called Tournament of States, but then they added some teams from Canada and New Zealand and Australia and Ireland, and so now it's called Global Team Throwdown, and so we compete on a weekly basis against another team across the world, and it's really cool.
That's
It's really fun. Yeah, really really fun, and kind of keeps me sane during quarantine being shut down.
Something to do.
And stuff. But we get to reopen our business this week, this Wednesday, which I'm excited about. Not super excited about having to like wear a mask and stuff like that because it's kind of warm in here when you're throwing. It's warm and that mask does kind of restrict breathing and stuff like that. So that's kind of annoying, but it's what we've got to do right now until we get past all of
Yeah, I was
this
saying until post-pandemic.
hoopla. But now we can both add podcasters, video podcasters,
Yeah.
YouTubers,
Which is going to be
Twitchers, so whatever. We can add that to our resume. Yeah.
Twitch.
People whose opinions matter. But that's us. That's us.
Oh, I don't know if I'm ready for that.
Yeah, we never know.
We'll get there. Though.
But for now, I think that's good enough about us.
Mhm. I think
Let's
that's
get
good,
into some other issues that we've got going right now.
Well, there's one big issue that's going on.
Yeah,
It's been
one very
going
big.
on.
One very big.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's dive right into that. So, kind of diving headfirst into what's
First
going
topic.
on, that big giant
That big
elephant
giant
in the world.
ball hanging over our head.
Yeah, COVID-19. Man, screwing everything up.
Yes, it is. It
Right
is
on.
changing everything that we do. It's even changing movies and TV shows.
Yeah,
It's affecting.
it sucks, man. It really sucks. Last night I was going through, and I love the DC universe. I love it. I'm huge. I love it, and I love watching things more than one time. because
Yeah.
I always tend to, especially in movies like that, like seeing things like, oh man, I didn't notice that before. I think I saw like Justice League and Batman vs Superman in theaters. Like Batman vs Superman in theaters, I think I saw like 5 times in theaters.
In theaters?
Yep.
So I think I'm the exact opposite. I'll go to watch it one time in theaters, and then I'll watch it at home.
Yeah. Well, I'll watch it. Well, but then you gotta wait 2 months to watch it at home.
Yeah.
Unless you torrent and get the illegal copies.
You can do that.
You can do that.
You could,
But,
hypothetically.
hypothetically, in theory. Doesn't happen, but it does happen. But it doesn't. But yeah, so, I mean, last night I'm scrolling through, and it's super hard to find things to watch. But I'm scrolling through, and, like, Justice League pops up. And I was like, I just watched that last week because I was looking for something to watch, and it was the only thing that was on that I could watch that wasn't like going into Netflix or Hulu.
Yeah.
I was just scrolling through like on YouTube TV. But like, you know, normally if I'm looking for something to like fill 30 minutes of time, I'll probably throw it on like ESPN, like or a baseball game or. Not basketball very often. Like that's the one thing. Like I'm not a huge basketball fan. I take it back. I'm not a huge NBA basketball fan.
There you go.
I like college basketball.
I was like college basketball, March Madness. We get this March Madness.
Love that.
Made me
Missed
upset.
that. I'm really like hurt for baseball though. That was my sport growing up, and I really miss baseball. But yeah, like there's. Can only watch those old games and reruns
The
so many
reruns.
times before it's like
Highlight reels.
yep, I remember this.
You know,
They
said that this year, most people had the NCAA bracket correct more than any other year
Yeah,
because it was blank.
because it was blank. There you go. Yeah, that's good. That's good. But yeah, I mean, just and TV too, like. The shows that got shut down early because they had to close production and the way these TV series work, they usually when they release the first episode, there's like 75% of the episodes are done, and then like 25% they're still doing like post-production
Leftover
and stuff like that, and or reshooting minor scenes.
How long of a delay do you think there's going to be to releasing new TV shows or new movies?
I hope not.
Like, but
I hope not
I
very
think
much.
there will be.
I would go to whatever countries are open and allow you to shoot there.
Just
Visual effects are good enough now. They can kind of
green screen it all.
not green screen, but they can edit things to. We never watched that video about Unreal Engines 5, that PS5.
The
thing we were talking
PS5
about.
thing, yeah.
Because
okay.
that would show you what I'm talking about, because it's ridiculous and nuts how they make this stuff look so real. But it's gonna be a while. It's gonna be a while.
Like I'm thinking at least a month or two, maybe 2 months delay on all of this stuff.
It's
No,
gonna be longer than that.
really.
I don't think that we'll see new TV stuff, like stuff that was supposed to come out in the fall.
Yeah.
There might be some stuff that like has been kind of sitting on the chopping block for a while that they've had like done, which might be stuff that we would never see anyways. That they'll pull out and go, oh yeah, hey, here's this new show, but this new show was actually never going to see the light of day,
Yeah.
and we might get to see it now. But I don't think that. I think a lot of networks too. My nerd side that watches all the superhero shows, like the CW puts out. I think they've gone ahead and said new episodes are coming in 2021,
Oh,
which sucks.
dang.
Usually those shows will split the winter season, so like they'll come out like October, November, December.
Take a break.
They'll take a break for like holidays and award seasons, and then they'll come back in like February. But I don't.
Do you think they'll still take that break though? Like if they push everything back to 2021, will they take that break like mid-summer, or do you think they'll just push straight through?
I think they'll push till after award season, which will be interesting this year too, because
That's gonna be messed up too.
we will have had what 2.5 months of movies in actual theaters,
Yeah.
and then now we've got all the stuff that's like theater at home, video on demand, where you got to go in. And the thing that frustrates me most about that is these movies that would normally have gone out to theaters that you can go on a video on demand. It's cost $20
Yeah, they're expensive.
rent it. When normally when it once it's released on digital, $20 is what it costs to buy it,
Yeah.
which is annoying. I feel like which I get it, they're losing all the ticket sales.
Yeah.
So they're
going
to rent it first, and then if somebody wants to go back and buy it down the road, then they're
They
going to pay
can.
another $20. But
That's a lot. That's $40 to see a movie and then to own a movie digitally. Not even talking
yeah,
hard.
but you're talking to the guy that still buys. Like I still go out. Now a lot of this is like the comic book. I really like I enjoy artwork, and
Yeah.
I think that movie posters and cover work on Blu-rays and DVDs, stuff like that. I think that's well thought out in a lot of things, so I enjoy that. But I still go out and buy, like, when the movie comes out that I'm going to get, it's like I'm going to Best Buy tends to be the one I go to because they kind of have the market cornered on steelbooks and
Hard copies.
hard copies. So I'll go and I'll buy the steelbook, limited edition, because I'm the guy that watches all the special features too.
Yeah.
And a lot of times when you buy digital, you don't get, or you'll get some, but maybe not all the special features.
That's
every
actually
bit of that.
accurate. Yes.
Yeah, I watch every bit of that stuff. But they're like $35 for a steelbook edition. So, and I've got like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of.
Oh my god. No, digital. I do the digital libraries.
But I do the digital as well. I do. Each one of them comes with a digital copy, and you can download that. So I do that as well. But,
Yeah.
I think it's going to be interesting. It's going to be tough to see what. It's tough for me because like I'm also an AMC A-list member, so we would go to movie. We go to the movie theaters 3 times a week.
Oh man.
Is it 3 times a
Do
week?
you still have to pay for that? Like, are you still paying a weekly
No, they close that off.
hiatus to?
Is it 3 times a week? Yeah, 3 times a week. Yep, we'd go to the movies. So we'd go all the
Damn.
time. We'd go all the time.
The only thing I went to 3 times a week was work or the gym. That's like it.
I go to work a lot more than 3 times a week.
Me
You're teacher,
too.
you better go to
Me
work more
too.
than
Yes,
that.
me
Yeah.
too.
But yeah, I enjoy it. It was one of those things where you go see. We were Movie Pass members first, and that was like
That was
we'd go
the
every
best.
day. We'd go all the time.
Mm-hmm.
It was nuts.
The movie.
I
Pass.
take it back. There's three movies a month. Is that
What
right?
was?
No,
No.
I'm talking about the A-list now. I can't remember what it was. I'll have to.
I know that Movie Pass was
Movie Pass
one
was-
movie once a day.
Yeah, we'd
Yeah.
go all the time. I mean,
And
seriously.
no 3D, no IMAX, no.
Right. We would go. We would see. So Thursday was my day off. And Thursday is movie release day in theaters because they don't do the midnight showings anymore since the shooting in Aurora.
Yeah.
When it was Dark Knight or whatever back in
Yeah.
the day. So we'd go Thursday to see a movie. We'd go Friday to see a movie. We'd go Saturday to see a movie. We'd go Sunday to see a movie. And what was really cool about that is I would see all these movies that like I wouldn't normally go watch because like I don't want to. I'm not gonna go watch that. I don't really
I don't want to pay $12.
pay to see that. Like I would rent that down the road, or like I want to see it when it comes out. But like I can go see it on my own personal 150-foot screen.
Yeah,
Which
that's
is
true.
cool. Like,
That is kind of nice.
Yeah, that's.
And they have those nice recliner chairs now too.
Absolutely.
Just kind of like
Yeah,
just sit back and enjoy.
it's nice.
That is nice.
But yeah, so that's kind of what I mean. COVID-19. I mean, on top of that, businesses are closed, restaurants are closed. I mean, until some of the restaurants started opening here, we would go out to eat pretty much because of our work schedule here. We would go out to eat like Friday evening when we'd close, Saturday evening when we'd close. I mean, even like going out for lunch and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's weird. I've been able to go into a restaurant to eat, and not only like that, like you've done it for 2 months. That's weird.
That is weird.
Very weird.
We went to me and Sarah went to a sit-down restaurant for the first time 2 days ago.
Yeah.
That was the first time we ever sat down at a restaurant
We
for like 2 months.
we went to McAllister's one day. Amanda and I did for lunch, and it was real interesting. Then I went to Los Bravos with my mom, and then Amanda and I went last week, so it's been 3 times now. It's
Did you have to
interesting.
sit? We had to sit 8 feet apart from the other tables. It was just us two.
The only one that so McAllister's had like, normally you go to McAllister's, you order, they give you a number, you go sit down and you put it on your thing.
Yeah.
They had the tables you could sit at marked already.
With numbers.
And so they, took our order, they looked out and they're like, okay, you can sit at table 2. Okay, great. So we go to table 2, we sit down. And then Los Bravos, the one I went to with my mom, was in Jasper. And they had booths looked like a murder scene in there. They had like yellow caution tape.
Oh, okay.
Draped,
I thought you meant like there's salsa all over the place.
No,
There's blood everywhere.
draped over the seats, and so then it was like they had the same thing. Like you had to sit here. Masks, of course, stuff like that. But and then Los Bravos here, I think instead of having caution tape, they just had like a sheet like this with an X on it, like this table's closed. Not really much different. Like still a lot of the same. I mean, other than they're wearing masks but I mean, really, some of those I think the reason that I chose Los Bravos when we went there was because I feel like the people that own Los Bravos, not that there are other restaurants that don't do this, but I feel like they're always very clean.
Yeah.
Always very clean, and I feel like there's always people cleaning stuff, even before this. But
yeah, that would be high up on my list now. Now that you mentioned that,
yeah,
like the cleanliness of a restaurant before
right.
the COVID will affect what I think about going there after.
Yeah, and I almost feel like it's subconsciously because I don't think we actively said, yeah, we're gonna go here because this place is clean and this place is not clean. But it's just kind of like when you sit and think about it, yeah, there's always somebody cleaning stuff. Because there's so many people. I mean, those restaurants run so smooth because there's so many people there, and each person has their own different job. And when somebody's not doing something, there's usually they're always going to do something. There's nobody
they're working hard, working.
Absolutely, you have to.
Yeah, small business. You gotta work hard to get by.
Yeah, so restaurants, we
Especially
haven't been able to do
restaurant
that. We've been closed here, so we can't have people come in and throw, which is tough. I mean, we just opened this in November, so we got November, December, January, February, and really one weekend in March, and then closed. Yeah, so it's been tough. Luckily, we did the right thing financially and kind of saved, which is good. And we should be fine. We got approved for one of those payroll
Grants.
protection program grants, which was great. A lot of places didn't get that. We did get that. We were lucky to get that. But if we weren't able to open this week, like this week's payroll period, this is really the last one that would be a part of that PPP grant. So we're excited to get to open and get people coming back in and get some money coming back in.
Yeah, hopefully.
From a business perspective, yeah. Hopefully
People are still gonna be a little bit trepidate. What was that word? Trepidation.
Trepidatious.
Yeah, they're gonna be a little bit
Yeah.
cautious.
I think so. Yeah. I mean, this area probably not near as much as others because of
How many affected?
Yeah, but that and just I think a lot of mindsets in this area very different from a lot of mindsets
Yeah, that scares me,
elsewhere. Which it can be tough for sure.
especially with the pandemic going on.
Yeah. But as long as they drink their bleach
As long as we
and they'll
inject their Lysol.
inject the Lysol,
Oh
they'll
my
be
God.
safe and they'll be good. I'm kidding. Disclaimer.
Please
Don't
don't
do
drink
that.
bleach. Please don't drink bleach. Oh my
Though,
God.
if they do, it is Darwin.
I mean, yes, but don't take legal advice from a podcast.
Unless it's a podcast about legal advice.
even then.
So we talked about restaurants and businesses. What about school? What does school look like?
So I'm a teacher. He's married to a teacher.
Yeah.
So something that weighs heavily on our minds is about school. Also weighs heavily on my mind because of how kids are with regular just sickness. And there's a reason why they give teachers 20 sick days when they start, because it literally
Does it feel bad?
well, no, it's because you get sick. You'll get sick constantly because your immune system's not ready to be around a bunch of kids and all the diseases and stuff that they carry, just illnesses that they carry constantly. So, at a school,
I like cockroaches.
you don't know how many kids have touched something or who's touched what, or that desk that you're sitting in has been touched by like 30 people before you just that day. Not to, like, if you're in one of those classes where you have the teacher that makes you get up and move around in the classroom too, like everything's getting touched constantly. Like I think that our school corporation, the VSC, is training the teachers now to do virtual days, and I think that it could be a virtual day Q1, just because of if there's one student that has it, one student in a classroom, and that student transfers to 4 different classrooms on the day, 30 people in each classroom. So 30 people, 30 people, 30 people, 30 people. Look at 120 people exposed. And then you got everyone in the hallways also exposed. And if one of those kids is sick, then it's going to spread like wildfire in a school. And kids don't, like, imagine trying to get a 3rd grader or a 2nd grader to be forced to wear a mask. Because the mask isn't there for it's not just there for your protection, it's also there to protect others from you. So if you sneeze or if you cough with the mask on, it doesn't go straight out into the other person. It gets dispersed or it gets caught right up against you. So I think that we'll do virtual for Q1. They're training teachers now on how to do it and to make the grades count. Because this last quarter, the grades did not count if they hurt you. So let's say that Q3, you got a B, and then you did none of your work, right? So let's say you sat at home every day. You sat at home, you did nothing as a high school student.
Yeah, but that just trains the kids to do the same thing in Q1.
I know, but they're not going to be able to do that now.
Yeah, they're going to.
But they're not going to be allowed to.
You hope they're not. They're not going to be allowed to. But if they're at home, how are you going to control that?
Their grade's going to go low. That's what I've been promised. So like Q3, if you got a B, if you did nothing, and you got a D at the end of Q4, we adjusted your grade to a B.
But so the tough part there is, just like anything else, schools are political systems.
They can be.
And and the schools have different grades for where more or less where the intelligence level of their student body is.
I would contest work. It's more work ethic. Your grade reflects your work ethic.
Well, I mean,
else.
like, if your school in the EVSC has a really low, like, GPA, overall GPA, aren't you, won't like your superintendent come crashing down on you as a school and go, hey, you need to do this because the state's looking into our school because now we suck.
It's not. So how it would work in
like
Indiana?
Standardized test.
It's the letter. It's that letter
yes.
grade. It's that letter grade or whatever. So in Indiana, if you are an F school for however many years, I think it's like 3 years.
Close you.
The state comes in and takes over. They come in and they take over.
Yeah.
And
so when they come in and take over, does that make you, what is that called? Is that a, oh shoot, the word's escaping me. Not a charter school, but a
state-run school?
A magnet school?
No.
No. Okay.
That's just a state-run school. Okay. And what they'll do is that they don't want you to get to 3. Yeah, I did. I don't know what that was.
Huh. I don't either. That was odd.
That sounded a bit like a growl, honestly.
Yeah.
It was a bit weird.
I don't know what that was, but hopefully it's not like a gremlin up there or something.
But if you're a D or an F school, you can apply for grants.
We're going to come back to that gremlin comment I just made because, okay, that'll be later. But yes, if your school gets a D or an F.
You can apply for money from the state to hire more professionals and stuff like that to come in and help you. So the system that's happening is that if you're a D or an F school, you apply, you get a grant money. Grant money comes in. You're able to hire all these professionals that are able to help your school run. So like you're able to hire paraprofessionals, you're able to hire like secretaries, you're able to hire more teachers, you're able to hire counselors and social workers, and you hire all these people. And your school will move from an F to a D to a C. And then the moment you hit C level, the funding disappears. The funding disappears, all the professionals go away. What do you think happens to the school?
It goes right back.
It goes back right down to a D and then to an F. So it's like this cycle of just constantly moving up and down to not be an F school, which really is annoying and it sucks because it really hurts those kids. Well, every 3 years it hurts a new group of kids, but for 2 years it's okay, but for the 3rd year it all depends on what year you get in your kid to school. Like that's terrible. That shouldn't happen every time.
Yeah.
But I don't think that we will go back to Q1 like normal. Unless we get a vaccine or, everyone gets it and we don't overwhelm the system, I think we're going to go digital. Because they're trying to implement 6 foot apart desks. No, that's not going to work.
Yeah.
Not even a little bit.
Yeah.
So I think it'll be digital for the first quarter.
Well, that's
and the grades are going to count this time, which is what
hopefully
all of you kids at home should know.
Hopefully it counts.
Yeah. Businesses.
Yep.
Business closings and reopenings.
Yeah. So businesses were hit hard.
Very hard.
Like I was saying, we opened in November and we made it through. We closed on March 19th, I believe. March 18th. We had a small little gathering in here to do some video work with some of our league members, and then we closed on the 19th. So we've been closed for 2.5 months, which is the amount of time we were open in 2020.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was hard. Luckily, we managed our finances well. We had a little bit of a nest egg saved, but also lucky that we have a great banker at German American Bank, who she's on top of her stuff. I'm in contact with her almost pretty much every week for sure. Just trying to make sure, is there any other program we can apply for?
Yeah.
Do we have to pay? When do we have to pay stuff back? If we have to pay stuff back.
You're on top of things.
Yeah, trying to be on top of it.
But still,
there's a lot of absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, when you go back and I think about, here's what we should have had in March, and here's what we should have had in April, and here's what we should have had in May. there's a lot of lost income. Way more lost than what we got with the payroll protection program grant.
What you were lucky to
but
get.
we're really which we're lucky to get. Yeah, we're really small. Which is what it's made for. It's made to help small businesses. What's crazy was seeing that like the Los Angeles Lakers got money from the PPP grant.
Publicly traded companies got.
Absolutely.
That
and
is
and
not
it's
what it's
insane.
meant for.
It's insane. And then they're all now coming out and going, no, we're giving this money back. Well, guess what? There's a lot of companies that have closed business already, closed forever,
because of it.
because they didn't get it because those companies took that opportunity. And I know I can't say for sure, but if they're giving that money back to the government, the likelihood that that money is going to be redispersed as a part of that program, probably non-existent.
Yeah.
It's not going to get redispersed. What they would be better off doing is setting up some type of relief program themselves, which ultimately they'd have to pay their PPP loan back, but guess what? They'll be fine. They can pay that back. It would then redisperse that money out to businesses in their local communities that would be, actually get to utilize the funds. But yeah, small businesses hit hard. I know more than one business that is closed permanently due to COVID, both small and big business.
Yeah. It's going to be a struggle
It's going to be a struggle, yeah.
to get us to open.
I am excited to open back up again, mainly because I want this place to survive. Not that I want to get sick or I want to get anybody sick. I do think that at the end of the day, we're all adults and we can make our own decisions. Well, there's more to it. We can make our own decisions, but it's ultimately up to the businesses to make sure that they
I would say that.
they implement changes to help. And a couple of things that we're doing. We've got sanitizing stations. We're limiting the amount of people that can come in on each lane, and we're sanitizing before and after. Well, yeah, before the first one, and after each group after that. So before and after. Requiring masks, to decrease the percentage chance that it's that somebody gets sick. So we're implementing all those changes.
Are you going to have masks like for them, or do they have to bring their own?
We want them to bring their own,
Yeah.
but we will have masks available if somebody forgets theirs.
You might be able to sell it to them too.
That's what we'll do.
Yeah.
They cost us like $1 a piece, and we're going to sell them for $1 a piece.
Yeah.
We're not looking to make money off of it, but we will require somebody we will require you to wear a mask.
And I think that that's good for every business that opens too.
We just don't advertise that we have them because we don't want people just coming
Just
in.
depend on
because
you.
it's hard to get masks, and so we don't.
Which means that you would charge more for each mask to try to, if you're outbidding other people for it.
If we run out of masks, we'll have to charge more for the masks. But we just hope that there's plenty of people who are making masks, and you can buy masks online, and it's not difficult. My wife's made all mine. I think probably together I almost feel like it's more fun than anything to make the mask. There you go. I actually bought a mask. Jason Momoa partnered with a company that makes like climbing products. And
What?
Jason Momoa does throws axes and stuff too. So I was like, I've got to get a mask. It's got his the image of his tattoo on the side of it.
Oh.
So I was like, yep. So I've got like one of those, and I've got a Batman mask and plaid mask.
I figured you'd have a Batman mask. I knew you would. Now,
I wanted to do like a 3D printed. I wanted to do
I've tried it.
in Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
The Batman respirator mask. There's somebody that 3D prints those, and then they have interchangeable.
The filters. Okay, so I have a 3D printer at home, and I tried making one of those masks, and like the nose, like going around the nose and stuff is all very it's not one size fits all,
Right.
which really sucks. So whenever I made one, it wouldn't fit on my face, and I tried making adjustments to it, it still wouldn't fit on my face. And then you can't get the filters anywhere either. So like you have to hand make the filters anyway. So we might as well make your own
Right.
homemade mask and get weird looks at the. So I wore a little bit. So like homemade masks, I think work just fine, and obviously they're not as good as like N95 masks, but it's better than nothing. But I wore my zebra stripe mask to Schnucks, one of the local grocery stores that was here in Evansville, and so I wore it in there to get ribs, and I'm holding this bag of ribs, or 2 slabs of ribs in my hands, and this lady comes up to me, and like me and my wife match each other, and so we're adorable. And this lady comes up to me and she goes, "Oh, I love your mask." I was like, "Oh, you know, my wife's aunt made it for us. We have matching ones. You know, the last time I wore anything zebra stripe, I was doing it as a stripper for a 50-year-old's birthday party." And at that moment, I realized that I had overshared a little bit too much with the stranger in line with me, and she made some very awkward looks, and we didn't talk to each other the rest of the day. Like in the line, we didn't talk at all because of what I had said. And admitted to what I've done. It's just be careful when you wear your mask out in public, because some of them may have stories behind them. So, yeah, wear your mask.
For sure. For sure.
Even if it's homemade and has a backstory, wear your mask. In kind of a humorous spirit as well, I'm thinking like there are people out there that are refusing to wear masks even when they're required. Even when the business says you need to wear a mask, there are people who will not wear masks. So exactly. But I figured
I don't want to wear a mask. I have allergy-induced asthma, and sometimes sometimes it's hard enough to breathe as it is. So
Yeah.
I throw this mask on, especially in here where it's warmer than it is in
already
in a
humid.
super AC situation. I'm gonna have to wear this mask, and it's it sucks to breathe,
Yeah.
but it would suck to be hooked up to a respirator. And
More.
not-
It would really
yeah.
suck to me.
Yeah.
And like this thing, even like I've got glasses.
Sure.
So whenever I wear a mask, it fogs the glasses up. I can't really see.
Get contacts.
No. Refuse. But there are people out there who refuse to wear masks, even when the business is like, you have to wear a mask. They refuse to do it because and I feel like we could do.
Do you know how many times I was in Lowe's? And which it seemed a little odd to me, but early on Lowe's was not restricting the amount of people inside their store.
Really?
But they were restricting the amount of people who could go outside into their garden area.
The outdoor area was restricted?
Yep. And I think it was mainly because of it's a smaller confined space.
Okay.
But I heard this guy, he had to wait in line. And he walks up to the line and he's like, "I didn't know we lived in a communist country." And it's like, that doesn't have anything to do with communism.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't have anything to do with it. And I heard the same thing at Menards. Menards is one of the only companies that I've been into that's requiring a mask. And if you don't have one, they make you buy one or you don't get to come in. And someone said the same thing. "I didn't know we lived in a communist country." It's not communist.
Oh my gosh, it's not
It's
communism.
not communist.
Not even in the slightest is it
No.
communism.
Not at all.
Someone needs to someone needs to check their literature
Sure.
of what communism is. Reread some of those books.
Yeah.
But I figured we could do some puns based on people who will not wear a mask.
Okay.
So 30 seconds on the clock. Got puns of people.
30 seconds on the clock. Let's see here. Get a stopwatch going.
No, we're gonna do an actual clock. I was just thinking hypothetical clock.
We'll do 30 seconds on the clock. You let me know when you want me to start.
Okay. Well, you can join in too if you got one.
What's that?
If you got a pun.
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. And go. COVIDiots would be a good one.
Quarandivas?
Corn divas,
Divas?
like they're a little bit diva-ish
Yeah.
because they refuse to do it. I like
Yeah.
something with a fandom. I'm thinking Harry Potter fandom. Death greeters instead of death eaters kind of thing. You got another one?
How about so fandoms? Let's see here. How about people who are a fan of cults? How about the Branch Covidians?
that's pretty good.
Yeah, that'd be like just trying to come up with like COVID Koresh. Also a Branch Covidian.
Okay, 30 seconds on the clock. That's over. It's over with.
Oh man, we're almost a minute.
I know. We are very over time.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. Well, I don't know. I think that's.
That wraps us up.
I think kind of gives us a good start. Good start on our episode 0.
Yeah.
I think that my ultimate goal, and Paul, maybe it's yours too, is to maybe do one of these a week or
Try to.
we'll try our best to. Our schedules aren't always capable of meshing. Episodes may or may not be as long as this first episode, but with this particular episodes, you can find them on our Facebook page, maybe a little bit on Instagram, or at least links to on Instagram and Twitter. We might do some live Twitch streams.
I'm down for that.
But also audio only versions as well
For the
straight podcasters.
Yep. Which is where I listen to most of my podcasts as well.
So Google and
Apple.
podcasts. So, but until that next episode, what should we give people an assignment?
Of course. So what you got 2 choices today. First thing you should do is you should like and subscribe. If you
Down below.
If you liked it,
wherever
if you
it's
thought it was interesting, like and subscribe.
And the reason we need you to like and subscribe is because the more subscribers, the more likes we get, the more follows, the better we can make our stream or our podcast.
And your feedback too.
Yeah, we need your feedback to keep things going.
Second thing, if you've got a COVIDiot pun that you would like to share,
Yep.
I'm very interested in hearing some of those. Branch Covidians is still really, really good. Love it. And if you have a homemade mask that is as awesome as mine was with a story, you can Instagram us a story or a picture of your.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of neat masks. I saw there's a tattoo artist that I'm friends with on Facebook. I guess he does tattoos and he does like paintings and stuff like that. But he's been making masks out of like cosplay EVA foam, which is like really neat.
I saw some that were glow in the dark. Like
Yeah.
when they turn the lights off, it like changes the image that it's on it. Like that stuff's
like
cool.
The 3D printed stuff's cool. I've seen a handful of those, and
Yeah.
like Bane masks.
Oh,
from
yes.
Dark Knight Rises. Like
That's awesome.
Yeah, the
I'm sure my students
goofy,
will wear
high
some of
pitched
that.
Tom Hardy voice that he
It's
does.
sick. So Instagram us a mask of your own, or
Yep.
tweet us a COVIDiot pun if you've got one, and like and subscribe
That's
on
right.
all the platforms you can.
That is right. So that's it.
That's it. Yeah.
That's it. All right.
Outro.
Congratulations for us.
Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do.
So join us next time. We will try to post out some type of schedule. But do like, subscribe, follow us. We appreciate it all. Thanks for joining us, and we will see you next time.
Yep. Bye.
See you.